So this is one of the most important topics in additional mathematics, coordinate geometry. So to find the midpoint of two points, let's say you have one point like x1, y1, and then another point which is x2, y2. Then the midpoint of these will simply be the midpoint of the x coordinates and the midpoint of the y coordinates. And to find the midpoints of the x coordinates, you simply find the average of the x coordinates. So the midpoint m is given by x1 plus x2 over 2, the average of these two numbers. If, for example, I want to find the number which is between 4 and 6, for example, we know that we have a 5 here, right? So to find the number in between here mathematically, you can just find the average of these two numbers. So you can say 4 plus 6, you divide it by that, this plus this will be 10, divided by 2, you have a 5. So 5 is the midpoint of this and this. So the same applies to this. When you've been given 2 points, x1, y1, and then x2, y2, you simply find the average of the x coordinates and the average of the y coordinates. So in this case, we have the y coordinates as y1 plus y2 over 2. So this is how you find the midpoint. Let's look at practical examples. So the first one here is find the midpoint of the points A and B, where A is 2, 4 and B is 4, 2. So you can use the same formula here. Let's just write the points down. So let's call this one x1, then this one will be y1, and then x2, this one will be y2. So once you do this, then you are halfway through. So you can add the x coordinates. You have the x coordinate there as 2, and then the x coordinate there as 4, then divide it by 2. Remember, you are finding the average of these 2 points. So comma, you have a 4 and a 2. So 4 plus 2 divided by 2. In short, y1 plus y2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2, then x1 plus x2 divided by 2. So 2 plus 4 is 6 over 2, then 4 plus 2, you have a 6 over 2. So this into this will be 3, and then this into that will be 3 as well. So the midpoint of A and B is 3, 3. And this makes a lot of sense because when you look at these two numbers, you have a 2 and a 4. The number which is in between these two guys is a 3. The same applies to these two here. And then next, we have another question here. We want to find the midpoint of 0, 4 and 0, 0. So to do this, you can say m is equal to x1 plus x2. Remember the average of the x coordinates, comma, the average of the y coordinates, like this. So you can say 0 plus 0, the x coordinates here are both zeros, good for you and me. And then we have the y coordinates which are 4 and 0, so you divide by 2. And then this plus this is 0 divided by 2, this plus this is 4 divided by 2, then 2 into 0 is 0, and then 2 into 4 is 2. So this is the midpoint of these 2 points. When you look at the x coordinates, so if you have a number 0 and 0, then you expect a 0 in between, right? Because these are all zeros, it's just the same number. So even the midpoint is expected to be the same. So on part C, maybe I'll leave part D for you. On part C, we have 3, 4 and 2, 5. So to find the midpoint of these numbers, I'm not going to write the formula this time around. You find the average of the x coordinates. So you have 3 plus 2 divided by 2 and the average of the y coordinates. So 4 plus 5 over 2. So this plus this is 5 over 2. Then this plus this, we have a 9 over 2. So in this case, we have fractions. You can either leave them like this or write your answers in decimal points, because in this case there is no rounding off. So this into this, you have 2.5. This into that, you have 4.5. And then I'll leave part D for you to attempt. So I'll straight away proceed to question 2. So on question 2, so given that m, which is 2, 4, is the midpoint of A and B, find the coordinates of A given that B is 3, 2. So in this case, we have been given the midpoint. Remember, the formula is like this: x1 plus x2 divided by 2, then y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So in this case, our m is this. This is known. So you can just call these your x1s and y1s. If you want, you can call them your 2s. It doesn't matter. Actually, this is m, so you leave it as it is. It's the b's which you are calling x1, y1. So m is 2, 4. And then our x1 is 3. Our x2 is unknown, so you divide it by 2. Our y1 is 6, plus our y2 is unknown, you divide it by 6. So now, since these are coordinates and they are equal, it means the x coordinates must be the same and the y coordinates must equally be the same. So we shall take advantage of that and solve for x and y. So we can say the x coordinates here are exactly the same as the x coordinates there. So 3 plus x2 over 2. And then we can cross multiply and solve for x. We also have 4 is equal to 6 plus y2 over 2. So we can also cross multiply and solve for y. So let's start with this one. I can put a 1 there if I want. And then we can say 3 plus x2 multiplied by 1. You have 3 plus x2. And then 2 times 2, we have a 4. Then this side we have this times this, which is 6 plus y2, which is equal to 4 times 2, we have an 8. And then x2 will be equal to 4. You take the 3 to the other side, then your x2 is equal to 1. You do the same thing here. Y2 is equal to 8 minus 6, so that our y2 is equal to 2. And hence the coordinates for A are 1, 2, and you are done.